February 10th, 2020, Lamed Ches, Berochos, 38. So we said that depending on how you make, it was some kind of bread dish that was made to dip in mayonnaise and kutach. So it depends. If you made it ka'avim, you made it thick, so chayavim, be chayav and chalo. Kilamudin, if they're made thin, will you dip it in the kutach? No, go ahead. I just started. You have to start again. Okay, so tonight is February 10, 2020. We're in Berochos Lamed Ches, 38. We said ke'avin, if you make the bread thick, so then chayavin b'chala would be treated like bread. Kilamudin p'turin, then if it was just like planks, thin, that would be clearly meant to dip as a dip only, not bread, and therefore you would not no challah. Amle a bailer of Yosef. Hai kuva da'ara. This was this like pancake where you poured, batter into a depression in the oven. My mevarchen aloy. What bracha do you make? Armalei. Misavris nama. Would you think that that's bread? Gufla ba'almahu. It's just
baked dough.
Yeah, it's like dough. And
in Toronto, I was in this place that makes falafels and stuff like that. So the way they make the pita, it's a big thing. It's an oven, round. They splash to the side of the oven, and that's how they heat it up. And that's how they bake it and heat it up. Exactly the same way.
Yeah, but the pita probably is first of all, we're going to learn that even when you eat a mazonos, if you're kovea suda on it, you make a motzi.
Right.
So it's okay. Anyway, we're going to see that tonight. So what bracha do you make on guva ba'al? You would just make a mazonos. So we don't make a motzi on a pancake. We make a mazonos on a pancake. Waffle is probably the same. Some people say because it looks like bread or it's an appearance, and certainly French toast, because since it looks like bread, you make a motzi. I'm teaching the daf yomi now. Can I? I'll have to call you back.
If you ever for breakfast, when are you going to have waffle for breakfast? Is that considered?
Marzutra kava sudase aloi. However, Marzutra would eat enough pancakes that would be his meal. On this halacha, we see this concept that if you're koivea suda, you make a motzi. V'shalosh brachos, you have to bench afterwards. It would be considered if you made it into matzah, you could be makayim your mitzvah matzah. My time lechem only karin and bay. It's poor man's bread. It's not a rich bread, but that's exactly what lechem only should be. Amar bar Ravashi, hai duvsha de tamri. You squeeze honey out of dates. So you don't make a boy priya eitz anymore, because on a date you'd make a boy priya eitz. But the honey that comes out of dates, my time, zeya ba'almahu. It's considered zeya ba'alma. So that's why for the same thing, apple juice, we make a shakal, we don't make a boy priya eitz. Kiman ki haitana. Like the following time, this nan, dvash tmorim, right? The honey out of dates, v'yayin tapuchim, cider from apples, v'choymetz sphonius, vinegar, usharme perushel truma, and other beverages that are squeezed out of truma fruit. So again, a non-Kohen who consumes this, so there's a mum payment, there's money payment you have to make to the truma, to the Kohen, because it's an asset that belongs to the Kohen, so you damaged it. The din is by truma, Rabbi Eliezer Mechayev Keren v'choymesh. So he treats the fluid like the fruit itself. And therefore, if it's valued as $100, you'd have to pay 100 plus 20. Rabbi Yeshua pointer. Rabbi Yeshua says you're potter from the choymesh, because it's not the fruit itself. It's just zeya. Trima mahu. What bracha do you make on trima? Trima, like you took something, like you took a date and you like banged it with a hammer. You didn't tear it up into pieces, but you sort of hacked it a little bit. That's what trima means. So, Lohava daiti de Rava my kamerle. Rava didn't understand what they were talking about. What do you mean? What's trima? Yosef Ravina kabei de Rava. Ravina was sitting in front of Rava. Armalei. So dishum shumi ka'amrit. If you're talking about sesame, we know. Oh, the kortami ka'amrit is saffron. Or the portsani, which is some kind of grape seed, ka'amrit. So we understand what's being asked. If you hacked these items and then you put some wine in it and you drank it, that's what kurtami is. And shumshmi is we're hacking sesame seeds to take out its oil. And the same thing with these grapes. You sort of bang these grapes and you pour the fluid into water and it makes mead. Temet is mead. It's just, it's not beer. It's some other kind of product that they make out of wine or out of grape product. So we don't know what bracha to make on these things. Adahachi, meanwhile, Vahachi aske Rava Ladaite. Rava had like an insight. Amalei chashilti vadeka amrit. These words of Ravina reminded me, it's like some kind of egg thing. But the Karen Milson, I remember something about this egg thing. Hadam Ravasi, Hai Tamri Shel Truma, or I remember some halacha. Hai Tamri Shel Truma, these dates of Truma, Mutter Lasas Men Trima. So you can pound it, that would be permitted, but for also Lasas Mem Sheikhar, you can't make beer out of it. By pounding it, you're not mafsided. And therefore, you make a boy prayer eitz on the trima part, because you keep the fruit basically the same thing that it is before. What's the halacha? Hilchos tamri avdinu trima. If you have a date and you sort of hit it with a hammer and squashed it, mavarch la boy prayer eitz, because it's still essentially the same fruit. My timer. It's still basically the same thing it was initially. What about shasisa? Rashi says it's a food that's made out of flour, kernels of flour that got dried in an oven. So, Ravama, I guess you made a drink out of it. So Rav says shakal nebedvaro. Or you've processed it to a point where you make a shahakal on this chemical. There's no bar minimum zonis anymore.
Yeah, you put it in the oven, how does it get liquid?
It's not liquid. It's not liquid. He says,
like that.
Michael, it's some kind of dish that's made out of kernels, flour that was dried. So, but it's not. It's like not in the category of mezonis anymore. Therefore, you say shakal. Therefore, Shmuel Amar boyer min mezonis. Amar Chaz loy pligi. Depends. Haba ava, haba raka. Ava is lachila avdi, and then you make a boyer min mezonis. Raka l'refuah ka'avdi, and if it's very thin, it was some kind of refuah, and then that's why you make a shahakal. Now the Gemara is going to ask, wait, if it's a refuah, I thought there's no bracha by refuah. Well, why should there be a shahakal? So Maser Rav Yosef. We had over there Shavin. They both admit sheboichshin es ashus b'Shabbos. You would use a spoon to mix something.
Laxative, it says.
Yeah, it's some kind of. It's going to be a refuah, but you could do it now. Normally on Shabbos you're allowed to make a refuah. So you could do this shusos, and you shoyis in zeisum on mitzri. You could drink this Egyptian zeisum on Shabbos. Now, Yisak at refuah, k'machavin refuah b'Shabbos mishori. So if the kavanah, when he made these things, is refuah, are you allowed to be machavin to make a refuah on Shabbos? You're allowed to do that on Shabbos. So Amalei Abai explained Adloi Tizber v'Hatnan kol oichlin oichlodam refuah b'Shabbos. Now, let's say there's something, a food, that happens to have medicinal benefit, you're allowed to eat it on Shabbos. It's because it happens to have medicinal benefit. If it's a food, you're allowed to eat it. Kol hamashki and shoyse. Same thing if it's a beverage. If it's a normal beverage that people drink, so maybe it helps a sore throat. Doesn't make a difference, you're allowed to drink it.
The question is, are you allowed to prepare them on Shabbos?
Well, if it doesn't involve a malacha, you're allowed to prepare it. Again, no, if you do something, as long as you don't violate brera or some other violation of Shabbos. We prepare food on Shabbos. Can't cook on Shabbos. But if you have an oichel sitting around there, you might think you can't eat it because you're not allowed to eat a refu on Shabbos. So the din, if it's an oichel or it's a mashke, you're allowed to. And so the whole concept is because my kavanah is to eat it as a food. So it has medicinal side effects, it's not a problem. Hachanami here as well, by the shesus, boichs and the shesus, the gavra lachilak, his kavanah was to eat it. That's why you're permitted to do it. Now, lishnachrina, there's another version of this. Why are you permitted to be boichshinas the shus on Shabbos because the kavanah is to achila? And refuah memela kavi, and the refuah aspect is just sort of a side effect. So chanami lachila kamachavin refuah memela kavi. Same thing here. Utzricha, dera. I need this halacha of Rav. If I've only been told the halacha havim lachila kamachavin refuah memela kavi, that works. Aval hacha. If you have a thing that kevin lechatchila refuah kamachavin lo levar chiloi klal, like we said before, if he made it specifically for refuah, and maybe there should be no bracha at all. Why did we say that there's a shahakol? But there's hana involved. Since it's hana, now normally when you take medicine, there's no hana, so there's no bracha.
Yeah, I get the shalom becomes about children.
Like cherry,
Yeah,
like a cherry syrup. So if they have hana, then have to make a shahakol. You know, if they make it sweet or something like that. Sha'alapasu oimer hamoitzi lechem in aretz. The Mishnah told us that on bread you make a moitzi. Mahu oimer. What's the nusach? Hamotzi lechem in aretz. That's what the Tanakh said. Rav Nechemia oimer motzi lechem in aretz. Now, what's the difference? Amar Rav b'moitzi kula amaloi pligi. The ofik mashma. It there, it's clear that it means in the past. Shahotzi kvar, v'havadei bracha haguna, v'lisha'over be'inan, shekvar hotzi alecha b'zemin ha'aretz, shehu bala anasemin. The structures of a brachos has to be in past tense. So motzi lechem in ha'aretz, everyone holds, refers to the past. The chsiv, keil motzi yami mitzrayim. Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim. See the word without the hey hamotzi, but motzi refers to the past. Ki pligi behamotzi. Rabbanan Sovri, the Chacham hold hamotzi dafik mashma. It also means in the past. He took out bread from the ground. Chsiv. Hamotzi l'chomayim mitzor chalamish. Like he said, Hashem who had taken water out of the rock. But Rav Nechemia Sovar, hamotzi demafik mashma means now, it's present. Shenemar, hamotzi eschem mitachas siflo Mitzrayim. I, Hashem, am taking you out now from Mitzrayim. The Rabbanan Ahu Hachi Kamar Luhu Kutsh B'Richu Yisrael. The Chachamim explain that this is what HaKadosh Baruch was saying to them. Kad mafiknu lechu avidnu lechu milsa ki hechedi adai. I'm taking you out of Egypt so you know that Anahu da'avkis yitzchon Mitzrayim. That I'm the one who took you out of Mitzrayim. Sort of, it doesn't mean past. It doesn't mean now. It means I'm the one. I'm taking you out so you should know that in the future I'm the one who took you out. As it says later on, Vidatem ki ani Hashem Elokechem hamotzi eschem eretz Mitzrayim. Now, period. Mishtabchin le Rabban Rab Zera as bar Rav Zvid. So the Chachamim praise to Rab Zera, Rav Zvid. Achvei Rav Shimon bar Rav Zvid, the brother of Rav Shimon bar Rav Zvid, the Adam Gadolhu, that he was a big Talmid Chacham, ubaki bebrachos. And they told him, you know what? He's an expert in brachos. So Rav Zera said, if he comes to town and bring him to me so I can meet him. So they brought him. Afikule rifsa. They brought out a piece of bread. Pasach v'amar moitzi. Moitzi lechem in aretz. Omar, so Rav Zera said, Zeu shomer alav d'adam gadolu bagi bebrachos. This is the guy you told me that is an adam gadol bagi bebrachos. Bishlama I Omer hamoitzi. If he would have said hamoitzi hashmi'in and time of hashmi'in and the hilchos l'kram. So he's giving me a svara that it means in the past, and that he's saying that Allah is like the chacham. Ela damer moitzi my kabashbon. We remember we said everybody holds moitzi is the right brachos. What big chiddush is this here? And so the Gemara answers because really Iyud Ovid Lafuki Nafshim in Plukta. He wanted to sort of remove himself from the machlokes and say that I don't want to be involved in the machlokes.
You took away the bu and you took away
He took away the hay.
the hay and what was the other one?
And that's it. It was either ha-motzi or motzi. And he said
Okay.
motzi.
Okay.
What's the halacha? We know what the halacha is. Ha-motzi lechem in aretz. The kaim look up one of the amri the afik mashma. That the word ha-motzi always refers to past tense. Okay. Then ala Yerokois, we said boy priadam. Ktani Yerokois dumi de pas. Now, the Yerokois din was learned in the same Mishnah as bread. And therefore the Gemara is going to learn similarities to that. Ma pas, shnishtan al yedei or. So bread, you still make the bracha, even though sort of the processing required fire. Af Yerokois nami shnishtan al yedei or. So even vegetables, even after you cook them, they still get the same bracha, l'chura. And on Rav Noi, and therefore Rav Noi said, Mishmei Abaya, Zoyse Meres, Shlokois Mavorkalam Boy Priaduma. Shlokois are vegetables that stewed or boiled, in hot water. So just like the pas, just because you used fire, it doesn't change the bracha. Here it also doesn't change the bracha. Dorsh Rav Chish Mishum Rabbeinu, Umanu, who is that Rab? That Shlokois Mavorkalam Boy Priaduma. But Rabbi Seinu, I heard in Eretz Yisrael, Umanu, who is that? Ula Mishmei Rav Yechon Amar Shlokus Mavrach Alem Shakol Yibidvarim. They disagreed. They're going to say that. So, for example, if you could, we're going to see soon that what the poskim say, what the Shulchan Aruch says, that if you have a vegetable that you can eat raw, that you make a boyer priadoma, and by cooking it, you make it worse. You deteriorate it, and that's why it gets a lower bracha shahakol. Now, va'ani omer. Now, I disagree with this sheet, and I say kol shet chiloso ber priadoma. If when I eat it raw, I can eat it raw. I make a ber priadoma, and that's the bracha. Shloko when you cook it, shakol yabidvaro. The kol shet chiloso shahakol yabidvaro. But let's say you can't really eat it raw. It's not edible. Therefore, you would not make a ber priadoma. You'd make only a shahakol. Then, when you cook it, shloko ber priadoma. So, bishlama kol shet chiloso shahakol yabidvaro. Now I understand clearly that if you have a vegetable when you eat it raw, it's not really edible. And therefore, if you're going to eat it raw, you would make a shahakol. And then, therefore, by cooking it, you improve it. And then you make a ber priadoma, mishkachas law. So that we have examples. But karva is like cabbage, silka, beets, ukra, pumpkin. Right? We don't really eat those things raw. They're much better cooked. And therefore, you eat it raw, it's a shahakol. You eat it cooked, it's a boy priadoma. El kol shet chiloso b'boy priadoma. But if you can start off by, let's say, a carrot, you can eat a carrot raw. So there you'd make a boy priadoma. Shloko shahakol, hechi mishkach. So give me an example of a vegetable that would be worse by cooking it. Now, carrots are not worse cooking it. Maybe better cooking it. So I guess you'd make a boy priadoma in both cases, in that setting. So the Gemara is looking though for an example where cooking the vegetable makes it worse. Betumi ukresi. Crazy, I think, is watercress. What do they say? Tumi ukresi is.
Leek.
No, that's crazy. What about tumi? Betumi ukresi.
Garlic and leek.
Garlic and leek. Okay.
Garlic and leek.
So what's that?
You can eat them
That's an
raw.
example. If you eat them raw, you can eat them raw, and therefore you make a ber priadoma. By cooking them, they get worse.
No, garlic?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
You have cooked garlic, it's delicious.
well, Yeah, like you mean when they saute, like as a spice.
Ask the Korean what they do.
I always thought crazy was watercress.
And you eat it, with the olive
Oh,
oil.
crazy is leek.
Yeah.
Toomey, they're saying is garlic.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's what the Gemara uses as an example,
But listen, the
where you can eat it raw.
The
No, carrot gets-
you eat raw as well.
That's what I'm saying. You eat it raw, so it's boy priadama. But if you cook it, it doesn't get worse if you eat carrots raw. So there you make it boy priadama on both. We're not finished with the sugya. Shlokas mavarchem boy priadama. He held that cooked vegetables, you make a boy priadama. But v'chaveirenu, I already mentioned Israel, umanu ula, mishmei Rav Yechon, amar shlokas mavarchem shakli b'varo. But v'ani omer b'machloikas shnuya, it's a machloikas, the Tanya. Yoitzin beroki kashorui. So, for example, on Pesach, you have a matzah and you soak it, you can be yotze your matzah. Uvemavushal shelo, and even if you cooked it, as long as it wasn't melted, like softened, dirameir. Now, Rav Yosi, I mean, no. Yoitzin beroki kashorui. If you take a matzah and you sort of soak it a little bit, that you can be yotze your din matzah. Avalo b'mavushal. But if you cook a matzah, it's not. Even if it didn't melt. But velohi, it's not like that. Really, the kulam shlokas b'vachlem boy priadama. Really cooked vegetables, you make a boy priadama. Vad kolam kam Rabbi Yossi Yosem elam yishum to be in and tam matzah v'leka. The reason over there Rabbi Yossi rejects cooking it, it's nothing to do with because shlokas makes it worse. It's just there's no tam matzah anymore, and in order to be mekayim mitzvah matzah, you gotta have tam matzah, you gotta have the taste of matzah. But here by shlokas he would agree that it would make a boy priadam. Shlokas, cooked vegetables, mavarchin aleim boy priadam. Rav Binyamin bar Yefes on Rav Yechon, shlokas mavarchin aleim shakolim bidvaro. Smach like I'm Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak kova ula l'shabeshta ki Rav Binyamin ben Yefet. Now ula seemed to paskin like this Rav Binyamin. Toiba Rav Zera, Rav Zera wondered. That's the kind of toiba. What do you mean? The Chimanyan Rav Binyamin bar Yefes and Rav Chia bar Ava. How could you choose to paskin like Rav Binyamin bar Yefes over Rav Chia bar Ava? Number one, like this: Rav Chia bar Ava dayik v'gamer shmaitzim Rav Yochanan. Rav Chia was a Talmud Muvik by Rav Yochanan. He was medayik and he learned all the halachos from him, his Rebbe. But Rav Binyamin bar Yefes lo dayik. He did not do the same. Number two, Od Rav Chia bar Ava kol plus and Yomim Madid Talmudei kameid Rav Yochanan Rabbi. Every 30 days, he would sit in front of his Rebbe and go over all the halachas that his Rebbe had taught him to make sure that it stayed fresh. Rav Binyamin bar Yefes lo mahadir, and Rav Binyamin did not have this process. V'od bar mindein ubar mindein, either one. Dahu turmusa, there was a turnip. The shakil leishavas zimnin b'kter, they soaked it 7 times in a pot. And they eat it as a dessert. Also, Rav Yochanan, they went to ask Rav Yochanan, so you see, shlokos is not shakol, it's a boy priadama. The Odam Rav Chia bar Avanira, he says Rav Yochanan, she'ochal zayis maliach, he ate a salted olive. Now, we should remember, gentlemen, malicha is like cooking. We're going to see in Yoredeya that we're going to see later on in Chulin, it's Hashem, that kavush, for example, if you soak something in brine, it has the din of cooking. So, for example, to transfer, if you have a piece of treif meat next to a piece of kosher meat, if they're cold, so and let's say they touch, you just need hadacha. You just rinse it off. There's no transfer of the flavor. Now, if you cook it. So if you cook it, so then it depends. It penetrates kedei klipa, or maybe the whole thing. It depends if it's shuman, if it's very fatty, it'll penetrate to the whole thing, and both pieces will be also. So that's cooking. Yad soledes bo, right? Well, what if you salted the two together? So malicha is like bishul, and kavush is like bishul to certain extents. There will be transfer of flavors and tastes between things with just salting or with just soaking something in brine.
Salt and take the flavor out.
No,
behind it.
Because it's well, first of all, we know salt does not, if you salt meat, it draws the blood out. Now, it's not just salting, it has to sit there for a long time. It has to be 24 hours, it has to be in brine, it has to be kavush, it has to be soaked in brine. And then there's transfer of taste. So what the Gemara's point was, he ate a salted olive, so it's like bishul, uparchalei atchila v'sof. Now, he made a bracha before and after. Now, we know now, atchila v'sof, atchila is either going to be bor pri adama, but what's the bracha b'sof? You know, is it either there's no bracha or bor nefashos? So, if you say that cooked vegetables remain in the same status as they were when they were raw, so betchila mevarchale boy pre eitz, because a zayis comes from a fruit tree. Zayis is from a tree. So in the beginning, before you did anything, you made a boy pre eitz. After you salted it, mevarchale bracha akos mein sholish, and after you ate it, you make a al mechia. Why? Because eretz zeit shemen udvash, the 7 items mentioned in Parshas Eikav there are the things that we have to make an ala mechia on. But for example, a pear or an apple or a banana, they're fruits, but they're not listed in the Sheva Minim, so there's no ala mechia. But Zayis is one of those Sheva, so you would make main Sheva. So that makes sense. But if after cooking or soaking, they don't remain on the same status, so so if initially by the vegetables you make shakol yebidvaru, ela v'sof my mavarech, so what kind of bracha achrona is there after vegetables? So there's no kasha. Deal with bar nefashos rabas v'chesrona al kol mashabara. Maybe that's what it's talking about. It's talking about bar nefashos. So it's not a kasha. Mazer Rav Yitzchak bar Shmuel. Yerokay sha'arim yoytze ben yidei chavis bepesach. Yoytze behen uveklach shlohem. So we're talking about moror. We're going to learn in Pesachim the various types of vegetables. Chasa, like there's chasa, and then there's moror, which we think is horseradish. And there's other types of vegetables that qualify as a vegetable that you can use, parsley some people use, as moro. So it's not just the root, it's the leaves as well. Aval, here's an important din, this is halach l'maisa, lo kvushin v'lo shlukin. They cannot be cooked, and they cannot be soaked in brine. V'lo mevushalim. And that's our din maror. You have to, right? It's geribina. It's it's ground fresh. We don't cook it. We don't soak it. But if soaking it's not going to change it. Remember, this is the debate. Does shlukin change it? So therefore, it changes the bracha or not? Now, if you're going to hold that by shlukin, you make a bor pri adama when it's raw, and then when you cook it, you also make a bor pri adama. Then what's the problem with cooking the vegetable that you can use for more? If it's the same thing, you should be able to cook it. Amilo. So a different reason. It has nothing to do with the cooking aspect. Shiny also to be eaten tamoror, the leka. If you cook it, you're going to remove the tamoror. It's not going to have. It's not going to have any tam. Probably Rav Yim Rav Zera. Rav Yochanan hechem avarach al zayis baliach. How did he make the bracha on this salted in brine olive? And we're going to see the issue about the shear, because if the pit is not involved, we're going to see whether or not how much shear do you need to make a bracha. That will be the sugi next time. Okay,